I want to start off by offering my sincerest apologies. I have taken very long with this video, but it is here, and there's a lot of things to cover. Hola fashion dollars, my name is Christopher y bienvenidos to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on the newest fashion royalty collection from Integrity Toys, Modern Muse. Or was it? Yeah, it's Modern Muse. I was saying, was it Muse Modern? But no, it was definitely Modern Muse. I will also get into my thoughts on the newly launched company from Jason Wu. And I say company because I have a couple of thoughts on just the rollout of this doll. So bear with me on that. So if you haven't already, grab a drink, grab a snack, lay back and relax because there's a lot to cover in today's video. Now, before I get into the first doll that I'm going to talk about, I want to give a fair warning. I'm going to try my best not to get distracted, but I am shooting this in the evening in New York City. I got to give you a disclaimer there. So if you hear voices, if it gets loud, I'm sorry. The mic is here to help, but it still picks up a lot of things. So work with me here, okay? All right, let me collect my thought process. I'm prepared. I really am prepared today. So before I get into fashion royalty, we need to talk about Atomic Lab by Jason Wu. It was the curveball in 2025 that I don't think any of us saw coming. And for someone who's been in the doll industry for so long, this rollout was weird in so many ways. So I'm gonna start off with the brief description that I have on pricing. The name of the doll is Nymphia Wind. Please forgive me if I'm mispronouncing it. She is at $150. She's only available at the Atomic Lab website, and she is shipping in October 2025. That is correct, right? Yeah, I'm like peeping at my notes, and that was all I have. So that is all I got. I'm going to be focusing a lot of my comments on the photos and the rollout. I didn't do a deep dive on the website, so I don't. It's a lot of things I feel like are missing. Okay, we're going to start from here. Now, I feel like it was a more cropped image of this photo that was shared as like the first preview that was launched. And I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie. My brain did immediately go to JHD. And if you do not know what I am talking about when I'm talking about JHD, who are the creators of the Muse line, let me give you a collage of the collection that they have released a few years back that immediately made me think, well, this doll fits that collection. And it's this collage right here. Do you see it? Because everyone saw it, including JHD. Now, before I take a deep dive in my conversation with Atomic Lab, I do want to share some things about JHD, which they've kind of added themselves in the conversation here. I mean, technically, we added them to the conversation because we saw the similarities. But I find it very interesting that a company that is not very active on their social media page always seems to be active when they feel like their designs have been copied by another company, when in reality, their own designs are not even that original. And we have made comparisons in the past of designs that JHD has released that are obviously knockoffs of Barbie. And it's just not a brand that I feel like should be going around like I did it first, when in reality, you did not do it first. Your quality is still very questionable when it comes to materials, and your rollout is still very messy. You've been now in the industry of doll collectors for about 6 years, and you yet have a very unstructured Instagram page. It's impossible to know when the dolls are really coming out. I've heard from members of the club that the Facebook page is never really that active. So for you to get online and really be like, I did it first, it's just weird business because it seems like you're more interested in being catty then you're interested in being professional. And just, no, okay? Just no. Now, for me, I don't know in what order people saw things, but I heard through the grapevine that somehow there was an article that was released before the email was released or before the launch of the website was released. So images of the doll were floating around before the doll was actually unveiled by the company. But for me, I saw this photo next, which is just a back shot of the doll with her coat. So we're still not getting a full look at the outfit. We're still pretty much teasing. We're still going through these elements of like, look here, look there. And again, even with this image, I was still getting very JHD, and I was also getting a lot of Rihanna-ness. Like, this is just a lot of banana yellow, and this coat is cute for what it is, I guess. But I'm still not intrigued. Like, this rollout just, I don't know. And then I think it's best to start at this photo before I get into the images of the outfit from the front, and before I dive into that, to really talk about my confusion with this brand, honestly. Now, Jason Wu has been working with Integrity Toys for over 17 years. From what we know, Integrity Toys launched him as a doll designer, and then from there, he went on to become Jason Wu, the fashion designer. Now, again, I didn't do a deep dive on the website, but I heard through other people that on his bio on the website, he went to completely disregard mentioning Integrity Toys, the company that literally gave him the platform to design dolls. And in our resumes, when we don't mention someone, it's because we want to act like they weren't there. But the timing of you launching this company and acting like they aren't a part of your history is just so weird. You just launched a doll like what? 2 weeks ago, the Naja, and then the doll before that was a Jason Wu doll as well. And it was just said in that last video with Naja presentation that you're gonna release more. So you obviously have a relationship with them currently. And I'm just honestly like, I know we don't want to give too much transparency because something should be kept in the dark, but when it's unrolling like this, like what is that phrase anyways? Some transparency would be nice, because what's really going on? Here we are. Next image. Now, this is the image where we get to see somewhat, because the coat is still covering a lot. A lot of these images were not very well, like they just didn't give a lot of detail for something launching new. And there is a video of the doll rotating on a turntable, but again, she's wearing the coat. There was no video of the coat off. We don't see the articulation. So many questions, so many questions. Okay, I digress because again, so many questions. For someone that has been working in the doll industry for 17 years, I would love to know why this was the doll to launch your company with, because I feel like this doll doesn't tell me much about your brand. And I'm going to briefly compare it to JHD because it's the only other doll company that has launched within the last few years that I can kind of compare growth, I guess you can say. I'm not really counting Adele Socialite. She had been around for 20 years, and although she just dipped her toes in the collector world, she's still doing things her way, and she's doing things her way. And by that I mean, let me clarify, that the body of her doll is still very much her doll. Unlike the Jason Wu doll, unlike the JHD doll, those dolls and their body and articulations, from what I can see with articulation here, obviously it's not confirmed, it's giving very Integrity Toys. So it's like they are very much in this pool while Adele Socialite is in that pool. That's what I mean by that. Yes, he mentioned in his bio that, you know, this line is about celebrating celebrities and pop culture. And that's very nice and all. But a lot of I don't know if you could base a whole toy company on celebrating pop culture. You know, JHD, again, I'm going to use them as a comparison because I've seen their growth. I've seen where they started and I see where they are now. JHD launched their company with a doll in lingerie because they were introducing us to a fashion doll who would then be built up. And I believe they released a fashion pack They either released a fashion pack after that or they released a doll. No, they released a fashion doll shortly after. But it was very much an introduction. You know, even though Mattel has been around now for 80 years and Barbie has been around for, don't quote me on the math because I totally forgot. I'm thinking the 80th anniversary of Mattel, and then I'm thinking of Peaches and Cream, which is 40. So Barbie's probably been around 60. Correct me if I'm wrong. I did not correct before I got on the video. My point of bringing her up is she's been around for long enough to do what she wants. And even till today, she has fashionista dolls to introduce kids into fashion dolls. Meaning she still produces a very basic doll that you can build up yourself because that is a fashion doll. And if we go back to when she was launched back in the 60s, right? It was the 60s. I think that was right. It was a doll in a black and white bathing suit. And then there were fashions that came after. It built a fashion doll. So launching a company with a drag queen, which I don't know about, I'm not very well versed in the drag queen world, just seemed odd to start there. And it got me thinking, again, the whys. Now, someone's going to probably be like, well, Chris, she's wearing like lingerie and a coat. So he's introducing, yeah, but he's introducing a drag queen. And also, I didn't understand why we are basing our doll on a drag queen, but yet we did not make the doll in an outfit worn by that drag queen. Because I went on their Instagram page and I did not see this. I know she's kind of known as the banana queen. I know that yellow is her color. But I didn't see this outfit on her Instagram page. And if I'm not mistaken, when Integrity Toys did the Trixie Mattel doll, that was an outfit that Trixie had worn. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was. Or when they've done the RuPaul dolls at Integrity Toys, those outfits were based on looks that RuPaul wore. Correct me if I'm wrong. So this just is giving all over the place. Now, I'm very intrigued to see where this goes. I have read somewhere that supposedly there are 6 more dolls ready to go. So, and it's $1 doll per month. So if this was June, we should be seeing another doll in July. As of right now, I have way too many questions. This wasn't my cup of tea. I appreciate the launch of a new company, but I'm gonna have to ease into this one because I have a lot of questions and it's just not, it's not given. Personally, for me, it's not given. And you are now probably being like, wow, Chris, you spoke a lot. You didn't talk about this outfit. There's nothing to talk about. She's literally wearing a corset, which I see some boning. That's kind of cute. This huge fur coat. This very, dare I say, basic long necklace and earrings. And what appear to be, because we don't know, plastic heels. They look very similar to the Dominique heels from that convention that Integrity Toys gave us in neon green, but she has them yellow. And that's it. Like, there's, you know, we don't know what she has on the coat. Are there gloves? I don't think so. I didn't see any. We don't know if she has additional hands. There was no accessory shot. Like, I don't know if this was ready to be launched, honestly. And I have questions. I do. I really do. And now for the moment you all have been waiting for, my thoughts on the newly presented Fashion Royalty collection. I actually call this a collection because there's 4. Who would have thought 1 more doll instead of 3 would have made it a collection? But it is. We haven't seen something like this in a very, very long time. And Jessie Ayala definitely delivered. Definitely delivered. I'm going to be going in the same order that the presentation was. So if you remember the order, we're going to stick to it, okay? So we're starting off with Adele. We have Discover Socialite Cafe. You know what? I'm pulling this paper over because, yeah. Socialite Cafe, Adele, late summer, early fall. Let me stop right there, okay? I actually didn't know it said late summer. I was really thinking the fall. And the way my life is right now, prayers to the dolly gods. That's what I'm going to say. We're going to keep it positive. The doll is quoted at $185 currently, plus shipping and handling for the club members, and she is going to be $199 for non-club members. I say that as of now because, as we've been told, depending on how the world unfolds, things can change. Okay. I'm actually going to go through a lot of images. I actually have the computer over there prompted, ready to go, because I feel like I have to talk about each photo that was presented, because there's a lot. There's a lot in this image. First of all, this was a great way to start. It looks like a statement. I feel like whenever you look at a fashion show and you got a coat like this, it is a statement. The leopard, the red bag. She is giving. The Eiffel Tower in the background. It is just the best way to present this collection and introduce us to this magic, because, baby, it was magic. In this follow-up image, we're seeing more of the coat opening up. So we're getting our first look at what's really underneath. We're seeing the staple necklace, and we're also being introduced to the accessory of her coffee cup, as well as a little, the word is, it's not server. I forgot the name of the plate that goes under a coffee cup. And it's like at the tip of my tongue, but it's not coming out, but you know, so let's get it. In this image, we actually have the glasses removed, so we're getting more of a look at her screening and the beautiful hot pink lining inside of the coat. I really love when we style something to make the coat the moment and everything else around it to frame. I actually personally love styling that way. I love to make one thing be the feature and everything else maybe framing. So I love how this look, now that the coat is open, is really showing us that the coat really is our statement piece and everything else really just enhances that moment. Now in this next image, we're getting to see the dress without the coat. We're also getting to see how to wear the dress with a different pair of stockings. Well, actually, in this one, she's not wearing stockings. So realistically, we're seeing the dress without the stocking and with the additional pair of shoes that have been included. What I really love about this collection is the fact that each girl is going to be having that each girl has a second pair of shoes as well as a drink. I really enjoy that that's kind of something we are doing in 2025. We are now introducing this new shoe mold, which is a plastic shoe, which I'm excited for, especially with a pump. The fabric ones are just not, they ain't lasting. And I love that we're diving into the world of miniature with different kind of accessories. Obviously, mini brands has been really successful. To see Integrity Toys kind of join that bandwagon with giving us drink accessories for now, who knows what else they're getting us in the future, I think is great. You know, doing the mini brand hunt sometimes can be a hit or miss because you just don't know if the scale is going to work. So knowing that the scale already works for our dolls is such a peace of mind that makes me so happy. Now in this image, we're seeing the dress again, but accessorized differently. And that's one of the beauties with this doll, and actually with all of the dolls in this collection, is the fact that their base looks can really change with just some accessories. Here we're seeing the stockings on again with these strappy heels, but we're also now seeing an accessory added to the arm of the dress that really gives it a more chic haute couture kind of look and really elevates it. Something I've noticed I have not talked about here, and it's because it took me a while to realize it even when the doll was released, is that she actually does have a short haircut. I personally have been dying for more dolls with short haircut, so although I just love that it's Adele, and I love the look and how this was styled, I think the haircut really kind of gave me that final push to want to enter the lottery for her. I wasn't too crazy on the screening. I don't know about the blue eyes and the red lip kind of thing. I'm kind of little, I've said it before, I'm a little tired about that. But nonetheless, I can move past that because everything else is just so grand and beautiful that I'm just like, oh, give her to me. Now, I usually don't share images of the accessories, but because there are so many accessories with this particular collection, I thought that it was important to give it a moment and really highlight them. I mean, here we get a really nice look at the bag. We see that the new mold of the shoes are being introduced in a shoebox, which I love, honestly. We're getting to see the coffee cup. We have just one. We're getting the necklace. We're seeing the earrings, right? Yeah, I said that kind of quick. Oh, something else I didn't mention, outside of the coffee. Yeah, that makes sense. She also, and her friends as well, all have a makeup item. So Adele has a lipstick. I was gonna say a pair, but it's not a pair. Adele has a lipstick. She does have a pair of gloves and an extra pair of holding hands. Okay, because you know we had that situation earlier with Adele. I mean, with Naja, and yeah, that. So this concludes my thoughts on the fabulous Discover Socialite Coffee, Adele. Up next, no, just joking, but I'm not joking. We have Martini Social, Eugenia Parent for all. Her name just kind of rolls off my tongue. Adele's last name be playing games in my mind, so that's kind of why I had to say it then. Oh, Eugenia. Okay. So Eugenia is stayed the same. All of this information is pretty concrete. I meant continuous. I meant repeating. I meant all those things. She's also slated for late summer, early fall 2025. The club membership price is $185 plus shipping and handling, and her non-club member price is $199. Let me put this back. And I'm not the only one that thought this because I saw it online. And it's crazy because she's not the Asian character. It was giving, I don't know if it's the green with like this salmon color. It was really giving Crazy Rich Asians. It really was. No lie. It just, something about the styling of this look in that first image that we're looking at right now just really had me like, Crazy Rich Asians, Crazy Rich Asians. Now I have to say, out of the 4 girls, just say girls, I'm just gonna call them girls. She is my least favorite. And it's not because of the styling. I actually do like the look. Something about the skin tone and the hair color is a little too flushed out for my liking. And I'm, in my collection, I'm trying to have a little bit of both. I'm not trying to go after people that I like just for the clothes anymore. I need to like the doll herself, maybe more than the clothes, because clothes we can find from independent designers or here and there, but the dolls are hard, okay? Especially when you don't know people to repaint, or you want the doll to work, honestly. So from the get-go, I was kind of like, with her, but it's mostly because, again, I just think the skin and the hair are too flushed out, personally. Now, I want to talk about this image next because it's the image that shows us her hairstyle. Now, out of all the girls, she's really the only one that has like a very defined hairstyle. And this was the moment where I was like, I wish I liked the hair color with the skin, or I wish it would have worked better because I actually love this ponytail. It's giving Princess Jasmine, but up top and not down low. And I love it. I love how I love how it works with the look, but I just don't love the colors together of the skin and the hair. And I'm gonna keep on saying that a lot because it's really the one thing with this doll that has me like, because even from this angle, the boot, the glove, ooh, the profile, the face, it's stunning, but it's just not giving for me. I guess one of the ways we can describe this line is dressed up and dressed out. But yet dressed in the same look. And I think with this particular image with Eugenia is like the best way to see that. Somehow with Adele, it still felt very dressed up when she had the like arm things removed and she didn't have the stockings and the pumps. It still felt very glam and chic. And although here with Eugenia, it still feels very party glam. There's something about the boots with the gloves that just really take this look to another level. Once you remove that, it's a little plain, but I will say, the profile of the body in this dress and just in this angle, stunning. And I will also say, out of the 4 pumps that we're getting, I think this was my least favorite color. Maybe because it's a color that I'm not familiar with, or it's not a color that pops in my mind when I think of styling. So it was very much like, one less thing that I'm gonna like from this doll. Now, as I mentioned earlier with Adele, I'm gonna keep on showing the accessories because I really think the accessory shots really give us kind of like a full story of the things that we're allowed to play with. I say allowed, like we're not gonna play with it at all, but you get the drift. Especially with this collection, the accessories really change up the look. They really like level it up or make it very simple and minimalist. And in this shot, we also get to see the drink. She has 1 martini. And then we also get to see that her kind of like beauty line item, I'm gonna call it a beauty line, is a bottle of perfume, right? That is correct. So we also get to see the bag here, which you saw in some shots. In this shot, I was like, damn it, can I just get the accessories? I did, because I love the color of the gloves. I love that the gloves have the fur. I am a sucker for a pair of boots for dolls, and I love this color. I love the metallicness of the boots. I would love the little martini. Like, these accessories are giving what accessories need to give. I also love the long earrings. I would have not styled it with that look personally, but I would love to use these on another look. You know what's funny? Actually, what I would style the boots with is the black dress Adele has on. So cute. Like, I would take all of the gold accessories and make you forget the silver one and like switch that up. Oh, it would be so cute. But I wouldn't do it with the arm puffy thingy, and I wouldn't give her the gloves because they wouldn't work. But imagine the boots with that black dress and like silver accessories instead of gold accessories. Stunning. Now, before we go to our next girl, just want to leave you off with an image of Eugenia holding her martini. The bombshell has entered the conversation. We have reservation for two. Actually, didn't say those. Isha. I ain't gonna say all that. Once again, slated for late summer, early fall 2025. Club price $185 plus shipping and handling. Non-club price is $199 plus shipping and handling. Okay, let me put this back. Now, I originally did not know the reference for the first doll. And then I also didn't know the reference for the second. And by doll, I mean dress. And I didn't know the reference for the second dress. But from the moment I saw this image, I knew this dress. And I personally love that Jessie's having a Schiaparelli, right? That's how you pronounce that, era, because the brand is currently the go-to for just art and fashion. And what we love about our miniature doll fashion is for it to also be art. I know that this dress really isn't like that crazy, but it's stunning and it's chic and it's bombshell. Like the hair, the waves of dress. Baby, it's giving. Now in this image, we get introduced to the alternate shoes that are being presented in this collection. So in this image, we see the pumps styled outside of her sandals, and we also now see her holding her compact. Earlier I was saying compound in my head. I don't know why, but it's a compact. Now, I feel like with Adele, when you style the look with the pump, it doesn't really change the look too much. But for some reason with Eugenia, it just took the look to a whole nother level that I did not like. But I feel like here it's still very clean. It's still very simple. And bombshell. It's all I got. It's bombshell. Like, if you've been around my channel, you know that when I love something a lot, I can't come up with the words. I just like, I love it. Like, I don't even tell you that much, but I love it. Now, closing off Isha, we're going to take a look at her accessories. Now, unlike the other girls, she actually has 2 cups. However, one cup has a mold that could be seen as she's sipping, while the other one is if the cup is just on the table. We also now in this image get a closer look at her sandals and as well as the color of her pump. Now, similar to what I said with Eugenia, well, not similar, the opposite, actually. I didn't love the color of Eugenia's pumps. I love the color of Isha's pumps. Like, this whole color combo of like this gold burgundy fur bag thing, all me. Love it. I love a good warm tone. Like, warm tones and maybe it's because I've worn a lot of black in my life that I'm like, ooh, a warm tone I absolutely love. But before we leave Isha, here's a look at her holding her cup while waiting on the next. Last but most certainly not least, Miss Elise Jolie Discover Shopping Suite. Once again, late summer, early fall 2025. Club price $185 plus shipping and handling. Non-club price is $199 plus shipping and handling. I just, had to throw that over there because I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for Elise. Like, Elise is usually one of those characters that when I see her, I'm like, I'm good. I don't really need her. And then my first thought when I saw this Elise was, she was looking a little close to the Elise we just saw at convention. And I know I'm not the only one that had that thought because I saw some people do similarities with the images of dolls and dolls that they thought they looked like. But when that person did that, it kind of helped me notice that they actually weren't that close, but they're close. But the other thing with Elise that I just kind of was like, yeah, I'm into you, girl, is this denim look and this Louis Vuitton inspired spring bag. It just, the weight of my heart are miniature accessories that look like real things that I don't know. It really is. And this bag, it takes me back. It takes me back. Now in this follow-up image, we get to see the polo shirt, which is how Jesse introduced it. He said it was a higher end looking polo shirt that is under the denim jacket that she is wearing. I love how versatile this look is. I love how with the denim jacket, it's very denim on denim, but once you take the jacket off, it just feels very chic, but it still feels very relaxed. Here we also see the introduction of the pumps, now I don't know if the white pumps are the ones that go with her or the other ones that she was wearing in the first image. Although most of the images she's wearing the white ones. So I'm confused. When we get to the accessory image, which I'm obviously going to share, we'll look into it again because I'm a little confuzzled. Now, something else is in this photo that I'm a little sad that she's the only one that has them, because I would have loved the other girls to have them as well. And being that they all got the same price, I'm kind of like, why don't we give the other girls a shopping bag and a shoebox? So why did the other girls just get a shoebox? But Elise is the only girl, I guess because her theme is shopping suite, and the other girls are not shopping, but yet have a new pair of shoes that has the shopping bags that I am honestly obsessed with. Okay, now let's get into these accessories, shall we? Because, you know, in theory, they don't look that much anymore right now. So it appears that the white pumps are the alternate shoe. From the first image, it's hard to see that the brown shoes are actually like a slim back shoe. So it's not a pump. So it was kind of hard to differentiate which one was the one in the shoebox. Now, Elise, like the other girls, has a drink. She seemed to have a lemonade. She only has one. And then for the makeup, she has what I'm assuming is a lip gloss. So if we run that down, Adele had a lipstick. Eugenia had a perfume. Isha had a compact. And Elise has a lip gloss. And then for drinks, Adele has coffee. Eugenia has a martini. Isha seems to have 2 glasses of wine. Right? It was wine, right? It was wine. And then Elise has the lemonade. Let me go ahead and put that shot of her with her lemonade in front of her while I share something else that I didn't say as I was talking in this video. And I don't know about you. I don't. But after I sat back and thought about this collection, I was like, Jessie kind of gave us like a modern Sex and the City crew. Elise is Carrie Bradshaw, always shopping. Isha to me was Samantha Jones. I would say Eugenia was Miranda. And I would say Adele was Charlotte. Now, let me know in the comments down below if you see it, if you agree, if you don't agree. Let's chat about it. Because honestly, I like the little storyline. Like it plays off. I mean, obviously the backgrounds don't make it seem like they're all in Paris, although I feel like they could be. I feel like it's a very Paris Fashion Week. The girls went on a trip. They're out there. They're kind of living their life. Like we have Elise doing all the shopping. We have Adele hitting up all the coffee shops. We have Eugenia hitting up the after parties for the martini here and there while she's networking. And then we have Isha in the city of love going on a date for 2. I just kind of came up with that on the spot, and I actually really love how that turned out. Like it's giving a vibe that I'm actually into. Now, I didn't enter for all 4. I only entered for 3, and that was a risk that I'm willing to take right now. All is in the hands of the dolly gods. However they want that to unfold is how they're going to want to unfold. Nothing else has been mentioned as of yet from this video, but if I'm not mistaken, in the presentation for the Fashion Royalty, it was confirmed that more is coming. I believe Monarch was mentioned, as well as some other things. So sit back, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, because you should, because I'll definitely keep on talking. And hopefully the next one won't take so long, okay? It's the end of June. School is out in New York. Like, a lot of things have happened this week. And then my birthday's on Tuesday. I don't have any plans. We're keeping it low key and chill. Just prayers and positive vibes is what we got going on. Until next time, guys. Adios.